As it fades in, the inside scene takes place at Dorne, at the ancient castle for House Martell, the kingdom of Sunspear. With no other claimants to the ancient throne of House Martell, and since no queen sat the Sunspear throne since the last queen and king did, long, long ago, it is decided, unanimously, that Princess Arianne Martell, who had for most of her life been locked up in a tower, till someone stopped bringing her food and drink, was assisted in her escape. That would be Daemon Sands. And now will be the new Sunspear Queen of Dorne for House Martell. Announcing Princess Arianne Martell, rightful heir and claimant to the Sunspear throne. The special effects in this scene then shows a royal march of Princess Arianne and loyal subjects to the Sunspear throne room. I, Valdavia, the Sunspear priest, do hereby declare, long has the Sunspear throne remained empty for too long, generations after generations. However, Dorne is in need of a ruler. There is no one else who can make a rightful claim to the throne at this time, and the only one who can make a valid claim to the throne is Princess Arianne Martell, daughter of former ruling prince, Prince Daeron Martell. So unless someone else can make a valid claim to the Sunspear throne, let them speak now or forever remain silent. Then he looks towards the shaman. Have you conferred, shaman, the blessing of Princess Arianne Martell, of her future in ruling Dorne and House of Martell? I have, and based on what I foresee, Princess Arianne shall rule well and the longest time, firm and swift, and all justice shall be carried out. Very well then. Princess Arianne Martell, could you please come forward? Princess Arianne Martell then slowly walks to the front. It is I, Princess Arianne Martell, daughter of my murdered ruling prince and father, Daeron Martell, and the only claimant to the Sunspear throne, my lord. He picks up a Sunspear crown and faces Princess Arianne Martell. Do you promise to uphold all laws of Dorne, and that any injustice, as did your uncle, Prince Oberyn, shall be sought with justice, and those be sought with justice, and those who commit betrayals and treason shall be judged under Dornish law, and all shall be protected from the enemies, one and all, who should attempt to invade? I do. Then, as the gods are the witness, and as in Dornish tradition, let this crown, the Sunspear crown, be placed upon your head. So he then places a very elegant crown on Princess Arianne Martell's head. And the rule of Dorne be returned to where it rightfully belongs, on the Sunspear throne. It is done. This throne now belongs to you, your grace. Queen Arianne Martell then takes her seat on the Sunspear throne, and many loyal subjects and citizens applaud and cheer her successful achievement after many centuries, when they had no king or queen, has made her achievement in her rightful claim. May you rule well, your grace. It was an honor to place the crown upon your head. If you have no further need of my service, then I shall take my leave now. Thank you for the blessings of the gods, for assisting me in taking that which is rightfully mine. You may go. The Sunspear priest bows humbly before her and takes his leave. And you must be the shaman, a Dornish healer, as in the days of old of Dorne, for we have no need of maesters. I am. Your service shall be retained, and sought, should any become ill, or killed by poison and treachery, or anything else that requires your services. Thank you for your presence, and having foreseen with faith my rightful claim in ruling, you may go. Thank you, your grace, does a curtsy and takes her leave. For the first decree of the ruling, there is a matter that needs to be dealt with and taken care of. The matter of the murder of my father, ruling Prince of Dorne, Daeron Martell, your ruling prince, Prince Daeron of House Martell in Dorne. Bring in the prisoner. The guard and Daemon Sand goes to fetch Ellaria Sands from her dungeon cell. And shortly thereafter, bring Ellaria Sands before Queen Arianne Martell. Do you not know how to bow before your queen? But how can she be queen? It matters not. She is still your queen. With no response from Malaria Sands, Queen Arianne then opens a floor panel after standing up from the Sunspear throne, aggravated. Queen Arianne Martell of Dorne then gestures 2 guards to take hold of Valaria Sands and put her into position before the black square opening in the floor. Do you know the rewards for those who murder a ruling prince, Prince of Dorne, princess, and king or queen is? Valaria Sands doesn't respond, but merely looks up at Queen Arianne Martell. It is death by vipers and manticores. And if I were to, and walks up behind Ilaria and barely pushes on her with one finger, scaring Ilaria Sands, touch you, you would fall into your death. Manticores would enter within you, stinging you within and without, filling you with deadly poison, as the vipers bite you and suckle your hardened nipples and your breasts, filling your very teeth with poison. You will be screaming and wanting death, but no one will hear you in the darkness, and no one will care. You will wish for death, but it will not come quickly, for not till only poison runs through your body instead of blood. Then death will come, but it will be slow, painful, and very agonizing, and it would seem as almost eternity. There is your reward for murdering a princess, sister to former King Joffrey, though he was a bastard born of Queen Cersei, and the Kingslayer, Jaime Lannister, who was betrothed to my youngest brother, son of former ruling prince, Prince Doran Martell. There is your reward for the murder of my brother, by sending out 2 of the 3 sand snakes to assassinate my brother. And there is your reward for murdering my father, the ruling prince of Dorne, Prince Doran Martell. You have been very busy making a kinslayer, and yet you are not related or even consummated in marriage to my uncle, Oberyn Martell. Murderer and assassin of those of nobility and royalty, what should I ever do with you? I can only think of one reward you deserve. But I silenced by Queen Arianne holding up one hand. I don't want excuses. I will tell you what. I was thinking how quaint it would be to strip you naked and have 25 lashes whipped across your back as men and women threw their shit and piss from their chamber pots all over you because you smell like shit and look like shit. You're nothing compared to me. You have no royalty. You, as a paramour, didn't marry my uncle Oberyn Martell. Therefore, you are worthless to the kingdom of Dorne. But then again, to be a true queen, I decided why step to the level of the evil Queen Cersei, who died pregnant in the arms of the Kingslayer because they were treasonous enough, having had Aunt Ilaria Martell, wife and princess to Prince Rhaegar Targaryen, murdered, and allowing some other psychotic knight to murder my niece, a princess daughter of Prince Rhaegar. So, I give you a choice. You could suffer the fate down there with the vipers and manticore, and eventually, in time, you die. Or you can get on your knees and confess you are a murderer, a traitor of 2 noble houses. So, which shall it be? She is let go by the guards, and she gets down on her knees. I beg for mercy. I confess I murdered your father, sent 2 to 3 sand snakes to assassinate your brother, murdered the princess daughter to the Kingslayer, and murdered your father. Queen Arianne Martell of Dorne then looks to the 2 guards. They stand her up. Then closes the door to the floor opening. You will be charged to ensure no harm comes to the rest of your sand snake daughters. Though they are bastard born, I am not one to discriminate against them, and their service may be needed. But as for you, you are banished from the house of Martell. Be grateful I don't banish you from the entire kingdom. If you show your face around here, or I should ever see you anywhere near the house of Martell, there will be your reward, and no one will ever remember you. Are we not clear, Ilaria Sands? Yes. Escort Ilaria Sand from the house of Martell region and back to where she belongs, to look after the remaining sand snakes. She watches as the palace guard and Damian Sands escort her out of the throne room and beyond the regions of House Martell. And thus ends the scene as it fades out. In this next scene, which is inside of House Stark at Winterfell, Queen Jane Westerling, her son Robb Stark II, and Queen Sansa, with other guests, have breakfast together. When breakfast is finished, Queen Jane Westerling and her son then pack for the return trip home. Well, Robb, I think it's time that we head back. Shall we say farewell to Queen Sansa before we leave? Are we going to come back sometime soon? Sure, of course we can. They enter into the Winterfell throne area as their servants are packing stuff outside to their carriage. Well, I take it you have enjoyed your stay here. Yes, like you, I do have to attend to duties at House Westerling, but I do hope that we can see each other again. Yes, I would like that. She looks at Robb Stark II. And you, little lord, I hope to see you again soon, too. I would like to come back. Well, you are most welcome. And you have a safe journey. Thank you. And thank you. I would like to see you again as well. They both bow and take their leave. Your Grace. Yes, I believe the men without banners are here to see you. Yes, show them in. Comes up and bows before Queen Sansa with others present. Your Grace, we have finished most of the repairs, at least all of the major repairs, except for the minor repairs. Perhaps your men can take care of those. We all have decided, since there is not many of us left, and without those who were our prominent leaders, it is time for us to move on. Perhaps we might go to King's Landing and see if we can get some coin there. Well, I'm sure King Brandon can use the extra help on the repairs of the Red Keep. Well then, it was good to be here. Glad the White Walker War is over. Hopefully, we won't have to go through that again. No, it is, if I understood correctly, is something that happens every 1,000 years. Not that we shall live that long to see the next war. It may be for the next generation, though hopefully not as difficult as it was this time. Well, thank you again for your hospitality, Your Grace. They all bow humbly and take their leave. In the scene then, the men without banners march along from Winterfell with the one playing his mandolin, as Queen Sansa then watches from the balcony till they disappear out of sight. the last of the men without banners disappears beyond the hill, Queen Sansa notices that a raven has flown in. Queen Sansa goes up to the bird, takes the note off, and gets the message that someone unknown has seen a march of men from Essos heading towards Westeros by the narrow crossing. She quickly then dispatches a note to send to King's Landing, reattaches it to the crow so it could take off. This next scene takes place as it fades in at Dragonstone, where Queen Daenerys finishes her test of memory being intact by reading all of the available history of the annals of the seven kingdoms of the realm. The visionary foresight then decides to pay Queen Daenerys a visit. Your Grace, may I come forward? Yes. Has any of your memory proven to be intact? Yes, as you said, being dead for 3 years, or as the historian has said, would be best to describe it as the abyss, has not affected my memories at all. I remember everything. Well, good. Takes out old scroll pages handed by Queen Daenerys um, and looks at it. Oh, yes, the forbidden scrolls of the annals. And did you get a chance to read it? Yes, I did. It was as before, or as I suspected. King Aegon IV Targaryen only brought shame to House Targaryen, but King Daeron II Targaryen was able to get that cleaned up and corrected over a period of time. And then I read recently, King Robert I Baratheon wasn't exactly innocent himself. As we both know, he was acting more like King Aegon IV Targaryen. That is true, but Lord Varys talked King Robert I Baratheon out of that. Well, Lord Varys used to talk a lot, but never showed any wisdom to me. Well, that may be true, but I also have something else here for you. Give me just a moment. He pulls out a large, pure silver and Valyrian scroll tube, using a leather cloth so not to accidentally stick himself with the ancient poison of curse. This here was discovered by a meddling Frey of House Frey at the Twins. It is pure silver and made of Valyrian steel. Possibly goes back to the time before the Valyrian Doom. And that is according to the High Valyrian writings here. It had a curse on it to make sure it didn't fall into the wrong hands. It was before the Valyrian Doom. We don't use such tubes anymore, nor were ever aware of any such tubes for scrolls used. But being of an advanced civilization, it explains why the scroll looks as it is. It can't be merely opened, even by force. So I brought this, hands Daenerys Targaryen emblem necklace. And you want me to wear this? No, it is actually a key, he almost says with a chuckle. See the points on the end by the chain. I can't hold the knob on the one end and try to work the emblem on the other end. It requires one who is either a king or a queen of House Targaryen to open the key. Very well then. She takes the other end and removes the emblem from the chain and inserts it into the slot with a slight twist to the right. With a click, 1/3 of the scroll then falls open. Then Bloodlord Cag enters. We found the one who is grave robbing in the Castle of the Dam. His color is almost all black already. The scroll has been opened, or he will not make it. Is that a question? Yes. Yes, it has been opened. Well, oh man, why don't you just sit down? Big Walder Frey sits down and says nothing. Well, this might be the antidote. Takes it out and looks at it. What, you want me to drink that? Looks like poison. Oh, believe me, if you don't drink this, you will die from poison. Why don't you just do as you're told? Pops the cork, and then makes Big Walder Frey drink the glowing green liquid. Big Walder Frey, with much facial expression, shows disgust for the potion. Oh, man, that's nasty. Then his back suddenly arches in pain. Oh, hold him. Big Walder Frey makes painful groaning sounds, then passes out as the Bloodlord holds him in place. Unfortunately, there's only one antidote. Must be pretty potent stuff. Probably as old as the time before the Valyrian Doom. But notice the coloring on his fingers. They are starting to return back to normal. And what are we supposed to do with this Frey at Dragonstone? Well, we won't be doing much. At least, we did save his life. I can't imagine why. Sorry, Grace. Well, almost wanting to laugh again about Daenerys' comment as she looks at Visionary with eyebrow raised a slight grin. It is a good point, Your Grace. Looks over at Bloodlord. See to it that when he comes to, he is escorted back to the mainland and back to his house spray of the Twin Towers. I will do as instructed. So, what do we have in the silver scroll tube? Well, we will have to take out the scroll and see what it reads. He gently pulls out the old, well-protected scroll as if it never aged since the Valyrian Doom. Shall I read it, Your Grace? Yes, please do. Read it. I find ancient history most fascinating. So he begins to read an ancient Valyrian foretold prophecy, some having come to pass, and other things yet to come to pass. Behold the prophecy of Valyria, capital city, in the time of the new age of one who left. Due to a vision foreseen by a Targaryen, Princcess, this vision is the last of our city, as Valyrian doom is upon us. In the generations to come, it will be House Targaryen who shall rule, not House Velaran. In that new age, a dragon queen shall be born, the breaker of chains and the unburned. She will be betrayed by bloodline, yet she will rise again, stronger than 3 women, stronger than 2 men. And she will have, upon rising from the dead, a stronger dragon spirit, and become a warrior queen. All will fear her and love her in despair. She will lose 2 dragons. One shall deliver her after death, and go mate with another. Yet 3 new dragons she will bear. A new throne shall replace the old one, and yet for 3 fortnights she will hold it. But the myth and legend of a human shall she marry, and she shall bear him 6 children. He will be her champion, even at the cost of his life. She will regain back the new throne for all time. He shall descend from a dark blue star and will shine one day brightly in the Valyrian night sky, a blue world for which many may think he is cast out, yet he has chosen it. Low in stature, and in his frailties he will bring the gift of knowledge. The mother of dragons, as she will be known, shall have many victories. She will not harm this one, and will declare him a pet, then her paramour, and consummate with legendary union. Great will be the love of the great dragon king for this legendary dragon of the dark blue star, which has had dragons of 4 legs from a time of old in his world. He will be known as the Grey Dragon, Dragonsphere. And in the end, she shall take his spirit too, when her spirit flame finally extinguishes before his, in the spirit world, in paradise for all eternity, but only when all in this prophecy has come to pass, with the future of House Targaryen for many generations to come. Well, Your Grace, it would seem that there is something foretold. If I understand this correctly, House Targaryen would be the new power of the known world, since Aegon the Conqueror. The vision of a princess was that of Dany the Dreamer before the Valyrian Doom began. At that time, it was House Velaryon who was the ruling house of power, but after the Valyrian Doom, it became House Targaryen, and they foresaw you being born as the breaker of chains, the unburnt, the mother of dragons, long before you were even thought of. They have foreseen this long, long ago. They also know you were going to have a conquest, and after Great White Walker War, which would have been after the first over 1,000 years ago, after the Valyrian Doom, much would be the loss, yet the victory. And they also knew that you were to be betrayed by a sorceress who would be the cause of your son's death, and a wild man, most likely the Dothraki, Khal Drogo. That has come to pass before your conquest and the Great White Walker War, and that upon an act of another conquest for liberation, you would be betrayed and killed, and yet you would rise again. That too has come to pass, and the old throne would be replaced by a new one. That is yet to come to pass. So, 3 fortnights as of now is yet to come to pass. While it is yet to be proven, so far, everything of the past matches this prophecy, and you will get this new Iron Throne of Swords. However, after 3 fortnights, you will not be able to hold it, as there will be a usurper. They didn't say who or from what house, but he will come, and you will not risk your 3 new dragons, and you will have to take exile, but only for a short period of time. It will be your first and only great loss, but then comes the myth and legend of a human. Now, I have not had, as of such, any said visions yet, until this time comes. I imagine soon, although it is hard to say when, I may get some visions. But for now, the time is not yet right. Does this make any sense to you, Your Grace? So, what you're saying is, I have to lose the new throne as soon as I get it, in order for this prophecy to come to pass. It would appear so, for during the Valyrian Doom, when it was upon them, they had to write as quickly as they could. They didn't have much time. Old Valyria Free City at that time was cracking and sinking in the water, or chasms that filled with molten rock. That all vaporized the miners. So they were very limited as to how much time they had to write this, and being that this is both silver and Valyrian steel, they had to ensure that this prophecy would not get damaged. Most likely, I imagine, the one they sent out, though only mentioned briefly, was a daughter or princess of old Valyria, willing to wager she was given this scroll and take it to the Castle of the Dam. There she was to stick it behind a panel of stone on an altar, then leave it, and live out the rest of her life as best as possible. Though she was affected by the poisonous gases, she did live for some time, and as we would say, the rest is history. So, I'm not ready to accept this quite yet. I suppose I should be prepared, in case something like that were to happen. And why is it that I would not risk my dragons now if the usurper came forward? Perhaps it's because there will be others from this world, but not from the known kingdoms. They won't come from the world of the human, but areas that are from more south of us, that are still not yet explored. And they will form some type of friendship and bargaining agreements with this usurper. And when you least expect it, that is when it will occur. She thinks for a moment. Well, I will take everything you have told me thus far into consideration. If you should get a vision, and I am not saying you will, but if, I want you to keep me informed. I will, Your Grace. And with that, he humbly bows as he is about to leave. Big Walder Frey starts coming around. Barely, with blurry vision, eyeballs, uh, squinting at Queen Daenerys. You... No, can't be. You're supposed to be dead. Swiftly, Daenerys turns her head in response and starts to move swiftly with intent to rip his throat out, but is stopped by the visionary. Get him out of here, then grabs Big Walder Frey by the arm. You did not see anything. Are we clear? You're hallucinating. One day your big mouth will be the death of you. Even yet, then shoves him towards the Bloodlord. Queen Daenerys watches as Big Walder Frey, Bloodlord, and Visionary leave the throne room. Big mouth. Final death. That's your destiny. I see you had a visitor already with the appointed palace visionary. Yes, I did. I have, and then thinks about whether to mention the prophecy or not. Well, he mentioned some information that might prove interesting, although I'm not sure if I can accept it yet. Well, I am here if you are ready to have that collar of obedience removed. You have proven yourself, and I don't think it is necessary for you to wear it any longer. A slight smile starts to form. I am to be freed? Yes. I trust you won't do anything treacherous, because the new Iron Throne of Swords will be installed when you make your presence known before the appointed elected King Brandon Stark, the Three-Eyed Raven. May I proceed? Yes. She holds out her arms straight, and after feeling the movement of her collar as Kinvara is working the key, she then lowers her arms slowly after the next three clicking sounds from back of her neck. The collar falls, clanging to the floor, and as she looks down, feeling her neck, she goes into a past memory trance of lost loved friends before she was betrayed. During this musical scene, special effects will, of course, be needed. In the meantime, just before Daenerys comes back out of her trance of a flashback of the past, the priest lord, Dark Shadow, is given the color of obedience, unknowingly to Daenerys Targaryen, and humbly vows to Kinvara, and then goes to make his report of Queen Daenerys' progress to High Priest Lord Damien. In the meantime, High Priestess Kinvara makes several attempts to get Queen Daenerys' attention. Daenerys, are you alright? I've been trying to get your attention. It is as if you're here, but not really here. Yes, I'm sorry, I was deep in thought. Looks down at a puddle of water between her legs. Oh no. Then starts to collapse and faint. Kinvara catches her, lowering her gently to the floor. Alysanne, come quickly. Yes, my lady. What is going on? Oh, I think she's going into labor. Looks over at a bright blonde hair knight in red armor. And who are you? I'm Damien, Skull Splitter, as some know me as the Third Blackfire. I was told that I am to be the appointed bodyguard to Queen Daenerys Targaryen. Well, I need you to give me a hand. Daenerys has gone into labor. Really? Since she was dead? Well, that which was inside her was also awakened when Daenerys was awakened. This is all you need to know. And where is the father? He is on the wall. When he betrayed her, he didn't know that she was already pregnant, but it is no concern of his. His treason does not require him to know he has a daughter yet. So Kinvara, Alysanne, each grab Daenerys by the arms gently as Damien carries Daenerys by the legs gently and takes her to her chambers. Then Daemon rushes off to fetch a maester, and so it fades out. In this next scene, it at first would seem to take place inside, but in actuality, Queen Mary decides she is going for a walk, seeing the great Septa Baelor nearly done with the main building being reconstructed, though not exactly as before. As anyone can see, it has taken on a whole new, more elegant feature as opposed to what it looked like before. In the previous times, it usually looked like this. But since the destruction which was caused by the evil Queen Cersei, it is now looking more like this, and is still not even done yet. As she walks around to the back and makes a shocking discovery, she sees movement behind a collapsed stone and wood door behind some stone rubble. As she gets near, she sees two fingers poke through. Realizing that there must be someone in there, she looks around to call for help. But seeing no one is available, she decides to take the initiative, even though it's not something a queen would do, to clear the rubble and force the door open. In this next scene, though she only recalls what she was told about it, it goes to a flashback to the destruction of the great Septa Baelor and the aftermath. Special effects, of course, will be needed. With much effort, the last of the rubble is removed, and the badly cracked door she tries to pull open. I want you to stand back. I'm going to try to pull this door open. So, she looks around for something to pry the door shut. Finds something, it's not much, comes back to the door, and then starts trying on it. Come on. Damn it, come on. Ugh. Ugh. There we go, got part of it. Oh, come on. Ugh. Oh, damn it. Oh, there we got it. Okay. And the ballycrack door is pulled open. She looks deep inside and sees a face look back at her from the shadows. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Seeing the face being a bit hesitant and afraid, she tries to calm her. Don't be afraid. I'm a friend, and I'm a queen much like you. We all thought you were dead. Queen Maergery of Highgardens, with some effort, her face comes into the light of day, and most unexpectedly is a lone survivor. You're Queen Maergery. Oh my gosh. Your mother will be so pleased to know you're alive. Looking sadly. Are my really alive? Yes, you are. Take my hand, and you will see you're not dreaming. With shaky hands, reaches out and feels Queen Margie's hand is real, then has a big smile. Oh, thank the gods of the faith of the seven. Although I think my life will have new direction, but I am so weak. Let me take you to the palace and clean you up. Margie shakes her head, no, leaning away. It is okay. Queen Cersei is dead. She died in the arms of the one known as Kingslayer, Jaime Lannister, when she was but pregnant again. So take courage, and in the palace you can take rest. What has happened to my young husband, King Tommen? Queen Mary of House Harroway looks down a bit. I will explain everything if you but trust me and come with me. She also looks around to make sure nobody is noticing or spotting her talking to someone inside of a torn doorway that she tore off the hinges. All right, but I've been in here for so long, I might not be able to stand on my own. What food was stored in here I had to eat to survive. It is okay. We're going to get you a proper meal, and after we clean you up. All right. So with all her strength, she reaches out and lays on her back so Queen Mary can drag her gently out in the open as gently as possible. Queen Marjorie sings a lead as if for the first time as she inhales deeply, breath of fresh air. In the end, Queen Mary helps Queen Margie to her feet, putting one of Margie's arms around her neck. She notices Queen Margie is very pregnant as well. She smiles about this. Margie manages to smile back. So they slowly walk back to the Red Keep in King's Landing, and thus it fades out and comes to the end of episode 3.